crazy when you look at the list of names coming from the South and Midwest. It's almost every major, commercially successful, influential artist of the last few decades that I can think of. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. You wouldn't know this about me, but I've always been a big fan of rap music. I like the fun party vibes. I like the thoughtful and conscious side. I like the bass and the drums since I was a little kid. And if you know nothing about it, you've at least heard the names Tupac and Biggie, probably the two most iconic names of the bunch. You also probably know that they rep the East Coast and West Side, two also very iconic locations. New York, obviously, the birthplace of rap, and Los Angeles gangster rap. And in the 90s, East and West were really running things, while groups like Outkast, who were from the South, were getting booed at the Source Awards in 1995 when they won Best New Artist. But when you listen to rap today, and even beyond rap, it's very obvious that the South has had a major influence on the kind of music that sells. And so today I'm going to walk you through how they did that, how they went from being disrespected to completely dominating the last 2 decades. Who or what is the South? When I say the South, I'm really referring to the South and Midwest, like Chicago, Michigan, Ohio, those kind of places. I don't know why I'm not from there, but I'm just observing what I've seen and heard. It seems that the South and Midwest intertwine with their sounds and borrowed from each other, especially as they were coming up in the 80s and 90s. Created their own sound. When you compare the sounds of the South and Midwest, they were more similar compared to the East or the West. East is typically boom bap with a heavy focus on lyrical ability. The West is G-funk, gangster rap, party music, play in your car music, as is the South, with an emphasis on the bass, 808s, hi-hats, fast lyrics over slow beats, the triplet flow, and kind of dark elements like the occult, horrorcore. If you remember Eminem's group D12, all the members had their main stage persona and then this alter ego. Eminem had Slim Shady, who was this dark character, and that comes from 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. That's just the typical South sound. It gets more specific from city to city. Chicago drill, Houston chopped and screwed, Memphis crunk, and then you have artists like Kanye West who are hard to define. He comes from Chicago, but collaborated a lot with East Coast artists like Jay-Z, and also a lot from the South like T-Pain, who worked on the 808s and Heartbreaks album in 2008. And Kanye West and T-Pain started that whole auto-tune trend that everyone started doing, except Jay-Z. And it was also around this time that the Triplet Flow became popular again. And what is the Triplet Flow? Triplets have been around since the beginning of music. It might be easier just to hear what it sounds like compared to the standard 4 beats per bar, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice. Everyone knows this line, I think. With so much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O-double-G. That's very much 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And compare that to Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati. That's very 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Did you hear that? I hope that makes sense. It's not my talent. Who invented the triplet flow? There's been debate over who invented the triplet style. Some people say it was Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, but generally Lord Infamous from 3 6 Mafia is credited as the godfather. It had been around before him, but he is credited with being the first to make it his whole style. Before that, people had sort of just thrown it in every now and then to switch it up. But a lot of people contributed to it really taking off, including Bone Thugs. I mean, in 1995, they released their album, East 99 Eternal, and that went to the top of the rap charts as well as the pop charts, which is massive considering rap was big back then, but it wasn't nearly as tolerated as it is now. Bone Thugs' style overall is very unique to them with the singing and harmonizing they do. I was too young to remember, but I imagine they were really something new when they came out. Like, a lot of people had not heard anything like that before. And they helped pave the way for the rest of them while also being influenced by them. Crazy Bone said in an interview that when he was younger, he knew all the new artists coming up in the South and Midwest, so he would have heard 3 6 Mafia at some point for sure. And in the last decade, we've heard it from Migos, Future, 21 Savage, Suicide Boys, and artists outside the South like Drake, and so many rappers from New York, A$AP Rocky, Cardi B, Ice Spice, Designer. If you remember, he had that one massive hit, Panda. That whole song uses the Triplet Flow. And it's not just the artists that shape the sound. Producers like Lex Luger and Metro Boomin have been really influential also. Crossing over, there's also the producers that have brought it to pop music. Mike Will made it, produced and wrote a lot of Miley Cyrus's album Bangers. You know, when she did We Can't Stop and Wrecking Ball, that whole era. And Timbaland was producing for Justin Timberlake, Nelly Furtado, and Aaliyah. Pharrell Williams worked with Britney Spears, who's also from the South. Future is a songwriter. He's written songs for Beyonce, Rihanna, Justin Bieber, just to name a few. The sound has crossed over into pop music, and now rap is way more tolerated by the mainstream. Support. Let's look back at Outkast in 1995 getting booed. It wasn't that people didn't like Outkast, but by the time they went on stage to collect their award, there was already a lot of frustration in the audience due to the tension between Suge Knight and Diddy and their crew, all prominent West Coast and East Coast guys, taking shots at each other all night. And it was a thing, this East versus West battle, most famously because of Tupac and Biggie. Tupac had been jailed in New York, he'd been shot in New York, and his disdain towards the East Coast and Biggie really peaked. So when he was freed from jail, he joined Suge Knight and Death Row on the West Coast. And that created a lot more controversy and tension. Then they both were tragically killed, and it definitely shook everyone. And by 2000, just a few years later, Eminem, Nelly, and Lil Jon started to take over. During the 80s and 90s, the West and East Coast were dominating, and the South and Midwest hadn't really found their place yet. So they came up together and they supported each other. They frequently worked together and feature on each other's tracks. Some of the biggest hits in the last 20 years, as far back as Usher's song Yeah from 2004, that had Ludacris and Lil Jon on the track. Waka Flocka Flame started working a lot with Lex Luger around 2010 and building on that crunk trap sound, just making it more popular. Waka Flocka is part of a group with Gucci Mane, who Migos list as one of their favorite rappers, and they frequently work together. And then the songs get picked up and played by radio and DJs in the South. Snoop Dogg said this is one of the main reasons he thinks the South is dominating. When he travels there, he hears music from the South, old and new. And he thinks the East and West don't really do that for themselves or each other. They just play whatever is hot. And that's trap. The South and beyond. And the support flows outside of the South. There's support for other artists. There's a welcoming sense for other artists to embrace the sound, like with the newer New York rappers coming out with New York drill, like Pop Smoke and Ice Spice. And admittedly, I'm not that deep in that scene, but at least from the mainstream there doesn't seem to be pushback like you're jacking our sound. I remember hearing the term biter thrown around a lot when I was younger. And that was one rapper telling another, you bit my style, you stole my style, my flow, my lyrics. And that was really an insult. And I just don't see that from Southern artists, even as far back as the 90s when Bone Thugs and Biggie made Notorious Thugs. And Biggie wanted to try the fast triplet style that was not normal to him. And he took the track home and he worked on it. And Bone Thugs embraced him doing that. They probably loved it. And they also famously worked with Tupac at that time, and they were one of the only artists to do that. And that was pretty major considering how much rivalry there was between those two. Drake, who reps Toronto in Canada, has worked a lot with Migos. He has an album with Future and 21 Savage recently, and he was signed by Lil Wayne. So he reps Toronto, but he's been significantly supported by the South and has reciprocated that love. Hateration. There was a bit of beef between 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs initially due to the sound being so new and unusual, and their sounds had striking similarities. The fast triplet flow, the dark occult themes. But they squashed that and realized there's just no need to fight about it. They both contributed to and benefited from its popularity. They're not immune to hate and jealousy from outside of music even. Some of these guys have been shot and killed, sadly. But at least within the music community, they seem to really help each other. And when you look at the talent coming out of these regions, it's not surprising they've been so unstoppable. Consistency. It's crazy when you look at the list of names coming from the South and Midwest. It's almost every major, commercially successful, influential artist of the last few decades that I can think of. These artists have been so consistently innovative over the years. They just keep bringing hit after hit after hit. They keep developing and growing the sounds through the decades. It doesn't stagnate. No one's trying to sound like 10 years ago. They keep innovating. Starting in the 80s and 90s, we got Bone Thugs, very instrumental, popularizing the sound in the mainstream. Pharrell from the Neptunes and NERD. Twista, known for his super fast delivery. Common, big name in the Chicago conscious rap scene. 3 6 Mafia, instrumental in developing the Triplet Flow and the dark themes. Outkast, one of the first to put Atlanta on the map. And Andre 3000, who delivered that famous one-liner at the Source Awards when he was saying, "You guys are being so close-minded. The South got something to say," when he was not wrong. CeeLo, remember Niles Barkley? They were massive. And he's been around since Goody Mob. Jermaine Dupri, massive in the 90s. Master P had No Limit Records. He mentioned that he tried to sign Tupac. That would have been epic to have Tupac over Southern beats. DJ Screw developed that chopped and screwed style. In the 2000s, Eminem, Kanye West, pretty self-explanatory. Soulja Boy, very revolutionary and innovative guy from his first single, which broke records and downloads and was independent. It was known for that Crank That Dance, and very famously known for making his whole album in Fruity Loops, which I believe at that time was not considered really professional recording software, not compared to Pro Tools anyway, but so many people started using that after him. And now it's FL Studio. Ludacris, hello. Nelly, Dirty South, Kid Cudi. A lot of his hits were about his struggles with mental health, which made him very relatable, and a lot of kids gravitated towards him for that, as well as his music being really good. And he just had a different sound, experimental or something. Just seemed to steer away from anything traditional. Missy Elliott and Timbaland, massive producers and artists in their own right, have worked together a lot and have been very innovative with their sounds. Lil Jon, I first heard him when he was making crunk with the East Side Boys. I think that might have been the first time I heard that type of music and I was hooked. I'd never heard anything like that. Lil Wayne, Tunchi, started when he was a kid, had hits before he even finished high school, was big into mixtapes and punchlines, something he's really known for. He had the look, face tattoos, which became a staple for his SoundCloud rappers a decade later. He's also one of the early ones to use autotune. Massively influential. I mean, who doesn't like Lil Wayne? Mike Jones, Paul Wall, they had that song Still Tippin', still love it. T-Pain, king of autotune, rapper, singer, songwriter, producer. He's worked with all the best. I saw him talking about his best advice for new artists is to stop asking for advice. And he gave these two amazing examples. One being Snoop Dogg telling him that the auto-tune trend was going to die after a few songs and to stop using it. And Scott Storch, very famous producer, told him not to use the 808s bass. And T-Pain changed the course of music with those sounds. No shade to the other guys, he just wanted to make the point that just because someone is really good at what they do, don't always listen to them if you like something. Moving into the last decade, Migos. People think they created the Triplet Flow because of how much they popularized it again, and we can probably credit them for everyone doing it recently. Also known for their ad-libs and looking fabulous. Future, such a big name in rap and music. I think everyone knows he wrote Drunken Love for Beyoncé. Known for putting out so much music that he'll forget his own lyrics on stage because he has so many songs. Also popularized autotune and trap music. He's probably the first mumble rapper I can think of. Definitely one of my favorites. T.I. He signed Iggy Azalea, she's from my home. He had a song called Trap Music in 2003. So yeah, you could say he helped bring that to the mainstream. He's kind of known for his extensive vocabulary. Young Thug, he's an interesting guy. He first stood out to me because of his voice, something kind of comical about it, which wasn't really the norm. He's known to defy gender stereotypes. Before that was really a big thing. It wasn't him trying to jump on any bandwagon. That's just him. And totally unheard of in rap. Waka Flocka Flame, big contributor to the whole trap sound. Mike Will made it, massive producer in rap and pop. Gucci Mane, Suicide Boys. Travis Scott, another massive producer and artist. Another one of those guys that's just in his own lane. Like has like an ambient type of sound. And one of my favorites since I first heard him, Metro Boomin. He has to be one of the most successful rap producers of all time. And he's not even 30 years old yet. Rick Ross, XXX Tentacion, Lil Pump, Kodak Black. All these SoundCloud guys that came out of Florida. For me personally, they put Florida on the map just because so many of them were coming out with this really dark sound that I liked and got my attention. Bad Baby, you know, the Cash Me Outside girl, made 50 million on OnlyFans. I like her. She's not that bratty little kid anymore. She minds her own business and does her own thing. Wiz Khalifa, Juice WRLD. He was a SoundCloud rapper, had a pretty distinct emo rap sound. Chief Keef, he started pretty young and is pretty instrumental in the Chicago drill scene. Jack Harlow, he's been making waves for a while now too, since he was young. Lex Luger, the producer, helped develop the trap sound since the late 2000s, but really picked up in the last decade. And we're only a few years into this decade and already starting off really strong with these names. Megan Thee Stallion, Don Toliver. He's a singer/rapper. Youngboy NBA, Lil Baby, Lil Nas X, DaBaby, Polo G, all going strong. And just a few honourable mentions that I could think of quickly off the top of my head. Beyoncé, Sierra, and Usher. They're R&B artists, but they were early adopters of the Southern sound and definitely helped push it forward in the mainstream. I'm kind of out of breath. That's a lot of people. Anyway, guys, I hope you appreciated me geeking out over rap today. I know it's a controversial style of music, but that's art. At least it's not boring. And you can also see how there is a lot of love and support for each other. I don't really think rap gets enough credit for that. We all just want to focus on the negative parts, but there's so much more positivity, I think, from creating their own sound, supporting each other, embracing other artists outside of the regions, outside of the genre itself, and consistently pushing the envelope, delivering music that sells and inspires the next generation after them. They really earn their place. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a great day. Hey guys, today I want to share with you some of my tips for losing weight and just getting overall healthier. Some of these tips can help you lose weight fast, and the others are more lifelong lessons to keep the weight off. I'm not a trained dietitian or a nutritionist even, but I am passionate about health and always trying to learn more. I gain weight fairly easily, but not since I was a teenager have I been overweight. I lost 20 kilos when I was about 17, and these are the 6 things I've done to keep myself in check. Number 1, calorie counting and weighing your food. Maybe once a year I have to do this. I slack off with my habits. I notice my clothes are fitting tighter, getting a bit of a double chin, and I've gained a few kilograms. What I don't do is go out and buy bigger clothes, because whether you have to lose 5 kilos or 20, you're going to have to drastically alter your diet and stop buying the crap and bringing it home. But it feels a lot easier when it's only 5 kilos to lose. So one of the first things I do is start calorie counting, and within a couple of months I'm on my way. All you really need is an app, some measuring cups and spoons, and a kitchen scale. And keep the scale on the kitchen counter, right where you prepare your food, because you're going to use it all the time. It's a little bit annoying at first, but you get used to it. And it's not permanent. You don't need to do it forever. Some of the more popular apps are MyFitnessPal, Noom, Easy Diet Diary, and you can usually sync these with other health apps on your phone if you're using those already. And remember, it's an adjustment. Some days you'll go over your calories, but don't be disheartened. Use it as a learning experience. Your stomach will need to adjust to eating less food, eating different food, feeling hungry, and that's okay. When you eat a meal, it takes about 10 to 20 minutes for the hunger signals to stop hitting you. So you might finish your meal and still feel hungry, but if you just stop and wait, you'll find you quickly don't feel hungry anymore, and you didn't need to have an extra serve or an extra slice of pizza. If you do this calorie counting for 2 to 4 weeks, you'll really learn what one serve is, 1 teaspoon, 1 cup, how many grams of fat are in peanut butter, what is a tablespoon of peanut butter. It's not this, it's actually just this. What a teaspoon of butter looks like on toast. Because butter is pretty flavorful, you don't need this much to make it taste good. All these little things we forget about, and they lead to bad habits, and you end up consuming more calories than you need to every day. So you think you're eating healthy, you're putting olive oil on your salad. Isn't that good for me? Yes, but maybe just 1 tablespoon instead of 3. Because when you're trying to lose weight, you need to cut back on the calories. and fat is per gram over double the amount of calories compared to protein and carbohydrates. So that's why a trainer will recommend lowering fat and increasing protein, because protein is less calorie dense, but it helps you feel fuller for longer. Personally, I love fat, and I think it's good for me. I would probably rather lower my carbohydrate intake. You've got to find what works for you, because however you end up altering your diet, you kind of want to stick to that, at least until you get to a place where you can maintain your weight, unless you're purposely trying to bulk and cut as part of a weightlifting program. Which brings me to point number 2, increase gym and movement. I personally don't need to increase my movement. Just cutting calories works well for me, as I already have a fairly active job. But I know people who can keep eating the exact same amount of calories and they really increase their movement instead. It depends on your lifestyle and what you like to do. But I always encourage people to go to the gym, go hiking, not just for losing weight, but it's good for your mental health. After an hour or two at the gym, the endorphins start flowing and I forget all my problems for the day. So the gym has been really good for me over the years. And building muscle improves your metabolism. This is because muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning it requires energy to maintain itself. When you have a higher proportion of lean muscle mass, your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, tends to increase. BMR refers to the number of calories your body needs to perform basic functions at rest, such as breathing, circulating blood, and maintaining organ function. Having more muscle mass can elevate your BMR because muscle tissue requires more energy to sustain than fat tissue. BMR is different for everyone, but this equation can give you a good estimate of what yours might be. Factors like your height, weight, and age contribute to that. But let's say it's anywhere from 1200 to 1500 calories or more. And when you increase your movement and muscle mass, your body becomes a calorie burning machine. Additionally, strength training exercises can lead to increase in post-exercise oxygen consumption, or the afterburn effect. After intense exercise, your body continues to burn calories at an elevated rate as it works to restore and repair muscle tissue. When I need to get motivated for the gym, I start by buying myself some gym clothes, something I feel cute in and I like to wear. So sign up to a gym somewhere, maybe get a personal trainer for the first month or so. I've been lifting weights for years now, but every time I join a new gym, I feel really out of my element. The equipment all looks different, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. So having a trainer put together a program for you and working with them once a week or so means you'll get comfortable quicker. You'll know that you're using the equipment correctly, you know what you're doing when you go in there alone, and also other people in the gym know the trainers, so they may feel more comfortable approaching you and you won't feel so isolated when you're there. Number 3 is podcasts and education. Nutrition, like most fields, is always growing and changing. We're discovering new things all the time, and it's worth staying updated. It's worth always having it on your radar. But we don't always have the time to be researching when we have a million other things to do, which is why podcasts are so great, because these people read all the studies. That's what they're passionate about. It's their job, and they condense it all down for you in these hour-long clips. So look up some podcasts on nutrition and healthy lifestyles. Get into the knowledge, the science about what's good and bad for us and why. For example, understanding the reasons for why we shouldn't consume too much sugar, what it's doing to your body. And when you know, you don't really want to do it anymore. You feel guilty. I just recently, like the other day, came across a woman on Instagram, the Glucose Goddess, and she talks about these things and how to eat with less glucose spikes. You know when you eat something sugary and then you crash later. So how to avoid that. And I just signed up to her mailing list with 10 recipes each month to keep your glucose levels steady. So we'll see how that goes. And if I like them, maybe I'll cook some for you. Another one I like is The Genius Life with Max Lugavere on Spotify and also posts on YouTube and also Instagram. He talks about how to live your best life as your healthiest self, how to cure and prevent diseases with the food you eat. He also goes into mental health and other topics too. Flav City with Bobby Parrish. It's a YouTube channel, US based, but you can still learn a lot from him no matter where you're from. What's good is that his channel is more accessible. He goes through the best and worst foods in the supermarket, where a lot of us are buying food and can afford to buy food. So everything he recommends is not perfect. You might have some food additives, but he tells you which ones are the best, the highest quality at least, with the least amount of junk. And he also uses them in recipes, which he shows you how to make. It's a very thoughtful channel. The Huberman Lab with Andrew Huberman. He's more of a life hack guy, not just focused on food, but he's a scientist. Talks about how to improve every aspect of your mind and body. He's a self-proclaimed geek, and you take the advice that you need from him, and you always learn something. Please comment if you have any other podcasts you find helpful. Number 4 is a gut cleanse. This I would only recommend if you're having gut issues like IBS, stomach cramps, reflux, bloating, and you have an idea that certain foods are triggering it, but you don't know how to deal with it. I recommend doing it under the guidance of some kind of a doctor or health professional, someone to keep you accountable, but also tell you exactly what you need to be doing. You fill out food diaries, and you'll show them every few weeks or so they can help you make adjustments. I did one a couple of years ago for about 4 months, I think, under this GP. She was an old Chinese lady, so she had a deep understanding of Eastern and Western medicine, and she didn't take any crap. I can't say all GPs will have an understanding between food and health, but she really understood that food was medicine. Perhaps you'll need to do some research into someone you can see in your area. I think face-to-face interactions help to keep you more accountable. I was off gluten, dairy, and all plant milk actually. This is because during the manufacturing process of these milks, there are cleaning agents and other chemicals used that are not listed on the ingredients label. Cold food, raw food, I had to cook everything. Too much fat or sugar, food additives, the most common ones being thickeners, emulsifiers, preservatives, colors, flavors, and anything with a number next to it. Even fruit and veg that weren't in season because of the chemicals they use to keep things fresh. Too many root vegetables, and probably more that I can't remember. I made my own sweet chili sauce and mayonnaise until she told me to stop that because of the raw egg. She just wanted me off anything that could potentially upset my gut. I was eating a lot of millet and rice porridge. I could have a handful of nuts and a couple of boiled eggs a day. I'd usually have a serving of rice, a piece of meat and green veg, snow peas or something like that, on the side for dinner. And then I'd add some tamari instead of soy sauce because of the gluten, and the sweet chili sauce and mayonnaise. For lunch I used to make a chicken soup or a miso soup of some sort. She wanted me to cook everything, so I was making an apple stew when I felt like something sweet, but I stopped getting sugar cravings after a couple of weeks. It wasn't the most nutritious diet, so not something you could live on for too long, but it gave my gut a full rest. Everything I ate was either easy to digest or anti-inflammatory and soothing for the gut. While I was on the gut cleanse, I had a couple of birthday dinners, so I still tried to keep to my diet as much as possible. But I allowed myself more than I normally would, so I can enjoy the night. And I had a few drinks too. But naturally, cutting out so much crap makes you lose weight. My stomach was flat, and I never felt better. Even my skin, my complexion, was brighter and clearer because I had cut out all the inflammatory foods. And after a few months, I went back to incorporating more food into my diet again, and I found I was able to eat food groups I had been avoiding for years. And I've tried to keep up with a lot of what she told me in terms of food additives, fresh, local food, and anti-inflammatory foods. Number 5, eat more protein and drink more water. I say drink more water because we often mistake thirst for hunger. If you find yourself snacking relentlessly, ask yourself how much water you've had that day. And eating more protein with your meals keeps you fuller for longer. It's often recommended to eat more protein in the morning, so you're starting off on the right foot. High protein foods include meat and fish. Try grass-fed and pasture-raised, slow growth if you can. For breakfast, I don't recommend bacon. I think it's too processed of a food. All those deli meats are not really good for you, as yummy as they are. They're linked to pancreatic cancer, unless it's those salami that are hung up and dried, old school methods. But every now and then it's fine. Eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese, milk, beans. Think of a breakfast burrito. Cheese, nuts, quinoa, oats, breads like Ezekiel, multigrain, whole wheat and sourdough, chia seeds. If you think you don't have time to make a decent breakfast in the morning, it's very simple. You just need to get up earlier. Eating is a part of self-care. You have to make time for that. I read something recently that said if you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your illness. And number 6, avoid the middle. Base your meals on food that's not in the middle of the supermarket. Have you ever noticed that's where all the packaged food is? All the stuff that's heavily processed has a shelf life longer than it should. It's in tins, jars, packets, Tetra Paks. Unless you're looking for olive oil, rice and legumes, spices and other goods to make your own food. It's really the perimeters of the supermarket where all the whole foods are, like fruit and veg, dairy and meats, freshly baked breads, and the freezer section. That's generally, not always, but generally where you're going to find the freshest food that's the best for you. And there's still a lot of stuff in the freezer and the fridges that have food additives like this. Something like this is much better. This is from a woman in my town who makes food in her kitchen and sells it. It's all fresh made and I pick it up weekly. You can see things like coconut cream. That likely came from a tin or something. But if you think of the 80-20 rule, 80% is fresh, whole food, and 20% the other stuff. It's going to help you and you don't have to focus on perfection. That's probably true for all the tips I've shared today. Calorie counting, increasing your movement, educating yourself on nutrition, doing a gut cleanse, and sticking to whole foods. It's a lifelong journey. It's not something you do for a month and then you're good. You want to aim high, but don't beat yourself up when it doesn't go to plan, because that doesn't help. Don't ever be discouraged when you gain a bit of weight, because you can always lose it again. If you stop going to the gym for a month, life gets in the way sometimes. As long as you get back into it, it's fine. You can make this fun, you can make it interesting, try things, listen to unusual podcasts, and still be disciplined. And you can do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Australia, known for its beautiful beaches, seemingly endless summers, and being home to some of the world's deadliest creatures, thanks in part to its unique ecosystem and isolation from other countries, and Steve Owen. Here's a list of the top 14 deadliest creatures you can find in Australia. Number 1. Australian box jellyfish. This jellyfish is one of the most venomous creatures on the planet. Encounters with box jellyfish can be fatal if immediate medical attention is not sought. The term box jellyfish refers to several species of jellyfish. The most infamous in this group is the sea wasp, aka the Australian box jellyfish. It's primarily found in the northern waters of Australia. They inhabit shallow coastal areas, but they are also known to venture further out into the open ocean. Box jellyfish are among the few jellyfish species that have a well-developed visual system with eyes and specialized structures that allow them to detect light and navigate. They are strong swimmers and can actively propel themselves through the water, unlike many other jellyfish species that drift with the current. They get their name from their bell or boxy-shaped body. They have long tentacles, around 1 to 3 meters, but due to their transparent coloration, they are very difficult to see in even the clearest waters. Box jellyfish are not aggressive in the traditional sense, as they lack a centralized brain and do not have the cognitive ability to be aggressive. However, the Australian box jellyfish is considered one of the most venomous creatures on the planet and the most venomous jellyfish in the world. Their venom contains toxins that attack the heart, nervous system, and skin cells. If a human comes into contact with their tentacles, they cause severe pain, tissue damage, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest and death within minutes. In areas where box jellyfish are prevalent, lifeguards and medical facilities are usually equipped with anti-venom and are trained to respond. In Australia, there are designated jellyfish nets in some areas during certain times of the year to protect swimmers from box jellyfish stings. Number 2. Belcher's sea snake. The Belcher's sea snake is one of the most venomous snakes in the world. One drop is capable of killing a human within 30 minutes. However, despite their venomous nature, they are not considered a significant threat to us. They have small fangs and are not aggressive, preferring to avoid encounters with humans. Most bites occur when humans accidentally handle or disturb them. They are known to inhabit the waters around northern Australia, including the northern coast of Western Australia, the Northern Territory, and Queensland. As their name suggests, Belcher's sea snakes are primarily found in marine habitats, including coral reefs, shallow coastal waters, river mouths, and lagoons. They have the ability to drink seawater and excrete excess salt through specialized glands. These snakes are relatively slender with paddle-shaped tails adapted for swimming in the ocean. Adults can reach lengths of up to 1.5 meters. They have distinctive and striking coloration, which can vary between individuals and subspecies. The typical coloration consists of a light yellowish body with dark bands, making them visually conspicuous. This coloration is a type of warning to potential predators that the snake is dangerous, venomous, or distasteful, deterring them from attempting to attack or eat it. Number 3. The blue-ringed octopus. This octopus typically inhabits shallow tidal pools, coral reefs, and ocean floors, and you can expect to find them all around Australia. Its most distinctive feature is the bright blue iridescent rings that appear on its body when it becomes agitated or threatened. These rings serve as a warning signal of its venomous nature. It's relatively small in size, growing to an average of 12 to 20 centimeters in length. The blue-ringed octopus is generally shy and reclusive, They are docile and not prone to attack humans unless provoked. In fact, there are multiple instances of tourists having filmed themselves holding a blue-ringed octopus in their bare hands, completely unaware of how dangerous it is and how lucky they were to survive it. Despite its small size and cute appearance, the blue-ringed octopus is considered one of the most venomous creatures in the world. It is said their venom is 1,000 times stronger than cyanide. There is no antivenom available, but complications can be prevented with immediate medical attention. The unique and dangerous aspect of its venom is that its bite is often painless due to a neurotoxin known as tetrodotoxin, which can cause paralysis and death. So if you encounter one of these, it's a good idea to seek medical attention even if you're feeling fine, just to be safe. On the positive side, this neurotoxin is also the reason its venom is being studied by researchers for potential medical applications, particularly in pain management and neurological research. Number 4. The bull shark. The bull shark is a large and powerful species of shark that can be found in various parts of Australia. They have a unique ability to tolerate both saltwater and freshwater environments, so they can be encountered in both rivers and oceans. This is due to their specialized kidneys, which allow them to regulate their internal salt levels. Females are larger than the males, reaching up to 3.5 meters in length. They have a stocky body and blunt snout and are typically grayish to light brown in color, which helps them blend in with their surroundings as they like to hunt in murky river waters. Bull sharks are considered one of the most dangerous shark species to humans. They are aggressive and can be unpredictable in their behavior. They are responsible for a significant number of shark attacks worldwide, mainly due to their tendency to inhabit shallow waters close to shore and their curious and inquisitive nature, which can lead to more encounters with humans in popular areas for recreational activities like swimming and fishing. They are opportunistic predators and may investigate potential prey, including humans, when they're in the water. They are known for their powerful bite and jaw strength, which enables them to crush and consume a variety of prey items, including fish, dolphins, and other sharks. Number 5. Cone snails. This seemingly innocuous little seashell contains the predatory cone snail, so venomous that just a tiny fraction of a drop of its toxin is potent enough to kill multiple people. This cone snail species is the deadliest, nicknamed the cigarette snail, because the time it takes to kill a human is akin to smoking one cigarette. Deadly cone snails like these are found in various marine habitats around the world, including the Great Barrier Reef and the northern and eastern coastal areas of Australia. They have colourful shells that often exhibit intricate designs and are highly prized by collectors for their unique and beautiful patterns. The size of cone snails can vary significantly depending on the species, but they typically range from a few centimeters to several inches in length. Cone snails are not aggressive toward humans and do not actively seek out human contact. They are typically slow-moving creatures that spend much of their time buried in the sand or hiding among coral reefs. However, they can deliver a venomous sting if accidentally disturbed or picked up by humans, especially when handled improperly. There is no antivenom available for cone snail stings. The only thing doctors can do is prevent the venom from spreading and mitigate complications. Victims may not even feel the sting because the attack is instantaneous and the venom has paralytic, pain-killing properties. For this reason, some cone snail venoms have also shown potential in medical research for pain management and as a source of new drugs for treating neurological conditions. It has been said that the conotoxins in cone snail venom are 1,000 times more potent than morphine and trigger no symptoms of dependence. Number 6. Eastern brown snake. The eastern brown snake is a highly venomous snake native to Australia. It is one of the most dangerous snakes in the country and is widely feared for its potent venom and aggressive behaviour. It's found in various regions of Australia, including the eastern and central parts of the country, and inhabits a diverse range of environments, as it's well adapted to both rural and suburban landscapes. It's an excellent climber and is known to ascend trees and shrubs, seeking out prey or sunbathing. The eastern brown has a slender body which varies in colour from light to dark brown. It may have different patterns, but generally lacks distinct markings, and it grows to an average length of 1.5 to 2 meters. The eastern brown snake is highly venomous, and its venom contains potent neurotoxins and blood-clotting coagulants. It's one of the most dangerous snakes in the world due to the rapid and severe effects of its venom, which can kill in under 30 minutes. It's no wonder why the eastern brown snake is responsible for more snakebite-related deaths in Australia than any other species. Their bites can cause symptoms such as paralysis, muscle weakness, and are fatal if not treated promptly with antivenom. When threatened, it will become highly aggressive and may strike repeatedly. It will attempt to escape from encounters, but if cornered or provoked, it will not hesitate to bite as a means of defense. Number 7. The Great White Shark. The great white shark is one of the most iconic and well-known shark species in the world. It's found in various regions around the globe, including off the coast of Australia, where they are commonly found along the southern end of the eastern and western coasts. Despite its frightening reputation, it is a protected species in Australia and many countries due to conservation concerns. Great white sharks inhabit both coastal and offshore waters. They are known for their wide-ranging movements and can cover vast distances in search of prey. They often frequent areas with abundant marine life, including seal colonies and regions with large populations of marine mammals. Many coastal areas where humans enjoy recreational activities such as swimming, surfing and diving also happen to be the natural habitats of great white sharks. This overlap is part of why they're considered so deadly, as it increases the likelihood of encounters between humans and sharks. Great white sharks have a robust and streamlined body shape, allowing them to be highly efficient swimmers, reaching impressive speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour. They can even breach out of the water, launching themselves into the air to catch prey or engage in social behaviors. They have a distinctive dark grey to brownish grey upper body and a white underbelly, which helps with camouflage. Great white sharks can grow to intimidating sizes, up to 6 meters on average. Some individuals can even exceed 7 meters in length. Another reason great whites are considered so dangerous is because they're apex predators and very skilled hunters. They primarily feed on marine mammals such as seals and sea lions, which they ambush from below. When a shark mistakes a human for their natural prey or investigates unfamiliar objects with their mouths, like surfboards or kayaks, it can lead to serious or fatal injuries. Their powerful bite strength and serrated teeth are specially designed for cutting through the flesh of their prey, even in the case of mistaken identity, where they may just be testing to see if something is edible. Fortunately, the vast majority of the time they show no interest in humans and prefer their natural prey, but you still wouldn't want to be in the water with one. Number 8. Irangi Jellyfish. The Irangi jellyfish is another type of extremely venomous box jellyfish, named after the Aboriginal Irangi people of North Queensland. They are primarily found in the waters off the northern coast of Australia, including the Great Barrier Reef region and the Whitsunday Islands. This jellyfish prefers warm tropical and subtropical waters, particularly during the Australian summer months, November to May, when jellyfish blooms are more common. The Irangi jellyfish is very small, with a bell-shaped body, measuring under an inch in diameter. It's also fairly transparent, and unlike larger box jellyfish species, lacks the prominent long tentacles that are typically associated with the more recognizable Australian box jellyfish. These qualities make the Irangi very difficult to spot in the water and add to its frightening reputation. Despite its tiny size, the Irangi jellyfish is one of the most venomous creatures in the world. Its venom contains a mix of toxins, including powerful neurotoxins, that can cause a condition known as Irangi syndrome in humans. Irangi syndrome is a serious and potentially fatal condition characterized by severe pain, nausea, and dangerous increases in blood pressure and heart rate. The initial sting itself may not be felt, as the stinging cells are very small and may not cause immediate pain. However, within minutes to hours after the sting, symptoms of Irangi syndrome may begin to appear, often described as a feeling of being stabbed or having hot oil poured over the body. It can lead to heart failure, fluid in the lungs, and other life-threatening complications. Irangi jellyfish are not aggressive and do not actively seek out human contact. Most stings occur when people inadvertently come into contact with these jellyfish while swimming or snorkeling. Number 9. Saltwater Crocodile. As the largest living reptile, the saltwater crocodile is a formidable predator. They are found in various waterways across northern Australia and are known for their powerful jaws and aggressive behaviour. The saltwater crocodile is found in the brackish and saltwater habitats of the Indo-Pacific region, including parts of Southeast Asia, northern Australia, eastern India, and some Pacific islands. They can be found in various environments such as mangrove swamps, coastal rivers, and sometimes even further out to sea. They have a unique gland in their tongue called the salt gland, which allows them to excrete excess salt, enabling them to drink seawater without becoming dehydrated. Saltwater crocodiles are considered one of the most dangerous and aggressive species of crocodiles and reptiles. They are the apex predators in their habitats and are capable of taking down large mammals like buffalo and wild boar, but they are also opportunistic feeders and will eat almost anything that comes near the water, including fish, birds, mammals, and occasionally even other crocodiles. They are highly skilled ambush predators and can launch themselves out of the water to surprise their prey. They are known for their death roll technique, where they roll their bodies rapidly in the water to dismember and incapacitate their prey. They have an incredible sense of smell both above and underwater, and they can detect prey from far distances, even in the murkiest water. Their behavior is largely driven by instincts, which are innate and predictable responses to various stimuli in their environment. As a result, certain aspects of crocodile behavior can be more predictable compared to animals with higher cognitive abilities that exhibit more complex and varied behaviors. Their temperament towards humans can be dangerous, especially if they feel threatened or cornered. Saltwater crocodile attacks on humans are rare but can be fatal when they occur. Males are generally larger than females, and full-grown adults can reach lengths of 4.5 to 7 meters, making them about double the size of freshwater crocodiles. Exceptional individuals have been recorded exceeding 7 meters, making them one of the largest crocodile species in the world. Their sheer size, strength, and predatory behavior make them a formidable force. Number 10. Stonefish. The stonefish is the most venomous and dangerous fish in the world, found in the coastal waters of the Indo-Pacific region, including Australia, where they are commonly encountered along the northern coastlines, including the Great Barrier Reef region. The size of a fully grown stonefish can vary, but they typically measure around 30 to 40 centimeters in length. They inhabit shallow marine environments, such as rocky reefs and coral reefs, where they can easily blend into their surroundings. Their masterful camouflage, resembling a rock or a piece of coral, makes it challenging to spot and increases its chances of ambushing prey. They can happily stay out of the water for 24 hours, making them easy to step on when the tide retreats. Their powerful spines, located on the dorsal fin, can easily pierce through our common beach footwear, causing excruciating pain, swelling, and tissue damage. Their venom contains neurotoxins that can lead to more serious symptoms such as difficulty breathing, heart problems, and fatalities if not treated promptly. The stonefish is not aggressive by nature and primarily relies on its camouflage and venomous defense mechanism to protect itself from predators and threats. Stings are most commonly a result of accidental encounters, such as stepping on the fish while wading in shallow water or handling them in tide pools or aquariums without proper care. It's a highly sedentary species, often lying motionless on the sea floor, waiting for prey to come close. They have specialized pectoral fins that they use to walk along the sea floor. These fins help them move over rocks and uneven surfaces, adding to their ability to remain inconspicuous. 11. Sydney funnel web spider. The Sydney funnel web spider, in particular the male, is considered the most venomous spider in the world. It's found in eastern Australia, in the Sydney region and surrounding areas. They typically inhabit forested areas and gardens, but their prevalence in the highly populated city of Sydney makes them notably more dangerous. They're a robust spider with a shiny dark brown or black body. They have powerful hooked fangs, which are used to deliver venom to their prey. While the female is still highly venomous, the venom of the male spider contains a unique combination of toxins that act on the sodium channels of nerve cells. This can cause rapid and intense effects, leading to symptoms such as muscle spasms, difficulty breathing, and in severe cases, death. Prior to the development of antivenom, bites from the Sydney funnel web spider were more dangerous, but antivenom is now available and has significantly reduced the risk of fatalities. The males are responsible for most bites on humans. They are more active, especially during mating season, when they become more aggressive and may be more prone to using their fast defensive bite reflex. When the Sydney funnel web spider perceives a potential threat, it will rear up on its hind legs and raise its front legs in the air, exposing its large fangs. This posture serves as a warning to potential predators or intruders to stay away, indicating that it is capable of delivering a potent and venomous bite if provoked. However, bites on humans usually only occur when the spider feels trapped or cornered. A few years ago we found a funnel web at the bottom of our parents' pool, which is about 750 kilometres away from Sydney. I don't know if it was a Sydney funnel web or not, but it was creepy. They're about the size of a 20-cent coin, or if you're in the US, a little bit bigger than a quarter. But it really stood out against the light blue colour of the pool. They're not described as aquatic spiders, but you do hear stories of people finding them alive in their pools. And I don't really like that. Number 12. Taipan snake. Inland and coastal taipans are extremely venomous snakes native to Australia. While the coastal taipan is a highly venomous snake, probably in the top 3 in the world, the inland taipan is widely regarded as the most venomous snake in the world. Its venom is extremely potent and consists of various neurotoxic and blood-clotting coagulant components. A single bite from this snake contains enough venom to kill several adult humans. Without prompt medical intervention, it causes respiratory failure, cardiovascular collapse, and multiple organ failure. The inland taipan, also known as the fierce snake, is primarily found inland, in a relatively small section, thankfully, across the states of Queensland, South Australia, and the Northern Territory. The coastal taipan can be found in the northeast and the northern parts of Australia, including regions of Queensland, but also Papua New Guinea. Taipans have a slender and moderately long body with a relatively small head. Inland taipans can reach up to 1.8 meters, and coastal taipans about 2.5 meters. Their coloration tends to change from darker brown or black in winter to a lighter, sometimes tan color in summer due to thermoregulation reaction against ambient temperatures. Their underside is a cream or yellowish color. Taipans are incredibly fast and agile snakes, reaching incredible speeds of up to 17 kilometers per hour in short bursts. They are known for their rapid movements and can strike at impressive speeds when threatened. Thankfully, they are known for their shy and elusive nature. They are generally not aggressive and would rather avoid confrontations with humans or other animals. Encounters with this snake are very rare due to its reclusive behavior and remote habitat, and it will typically retreat if it senses any threats. It's called the fierce snake, not due to its temperament, but rather its venom. Number 13. Tiger shark. The tiger shark is a large and powerful species of shark found in various oceans around the world, including off the coast of Australia, particularly in regions with warm waters. Tiger sharks have a distinctive appearance with dark vertical stripes on their sides that give them their name. They have a robust body shape and can range in color from blue to grey or greenish with a white underbelly. Adult tiger sharks can grow to an average length of 4 meters, although some individuals can reach lengths of over 5 meters. Their large size is just one of the reasons tiger sharks are considered dangerous. While they are not actively seeking out interactions with humans, they are opportunistic feeders, often referred to as garbage eaters because they will eat just about anything, and their curiosity may lead them to mistake humans as a potential food source. And while shark attacks are generally rare across the board, tiger sharks take second place when it comes to the most attacks and fatalities on humans, with the great white shark taking first place. These sharks have powerful jaws and are capable of crushing hard-shelled prey like sea turtles and consuming large mammals like sea lions and other sharks. Their prevalence across Australian coastlines means interactions with humans are more likely, Nevertheless, tiger sharks are considered a near-threatened species due to fishing pressure and habitat degradation. Last but not least, number 14, tiger snake. The tiger snake is a highly venomous snake native to Australia, found in various southern regions, often in wetter habitats like swamps and riverbanks. The typical tiger snake gets its name from the bands or stripes across its body with a lighter underside, but they can range from plain brown to solid black, making them a bit difficult to identify. They can grow anywhere from 1 meter to 2.5 meters, depending on the region and species. Being colder climate snakes, they give birth to live young, which are just as venomous as their parents, though their baby fangs are small. Tiger snakes are highly venomous, and their bites are dangerous to humans if left untreated. They possess a potent neurotoxic venom that affects the nervous system and causes blood clotting. Their habitat tends to cross over with ours, making encounters with them more likely. They prefer to avoid confrontation though, so making noise, stomping your feet is a good idea when hiking, as they will strike defensively with rapid precision if you startle them at close range. As part of the cobra family, they flatten their necks as a warning sign when threatened, and will adopt the classic S pose commonly associated with cobras and vipers. This is intended to intimidate potential threats and allows them to strike more efficiently. I hope I haven't scared you off visiting. While these creatures are very venomous and potentially deadly, they only tend to attack when provoked, making them very easy to live with. It's relatively easy to take precautionary measures, like following signage and wearing protective gear when you're out in nature. This way you can still enjoy all the beauty Australia has to offer. And if you wish to get up close and personal with these creatures, you can usually do so safely at a zoo or with an experienced guide. Thanks for watching, guys. The Psychopath Checklist is a 20-item assessment tool used by psychologists to measure whether an individual is a psychopath, and it yields a richly detailed profile of this callous and manipulative personality disorder. In this 2-part video series, I will aim to answer the questions: what is a psychopath, and how do we diagnose them? Are they all murderous criminals like we see so often depicted in movies and fiction? And is there such thing as a good psychopath? Do they add anything to society? And in part 2, I'm going to take the test, just for fun, and share my answers as we go along, while we look a little deeper into each of the psychopathic traits measured in the Psychopath Checklist. So, what is a psychopath? The term psychopath often brings to mind serial killers and heinous criminals, but not all psychopaths end up that way. They do, however, all share a number of characteristics to varying degrees. The FBI describes psychopathy as a personality disorder manifested in people who use a mixture of charm, manipulation, intimidation, and occasionally violence to control others in order to satisfy their own selfish needs. Usage of the term psychopath was made popular in 1941 by American psychiatrist Herbie Cleckley in his book The Mask of Sanity, and strongly influenced later developments in the field. Cleckley describes the psychopathic person as outwardly a perfect mimic of a normally functioning person, able to mask or disguise the fundamental lack of internal personality structure, an internal chaos that results in repeatedly purposeful destructive behavior often more self-destructive than destructive to others. Despite the seemingly sincere, intelligent, even charming external presentation, internally, the psychopathic person does not have the ability to experience genuine emotions. According to the Psychopathy Is website, people are not born psychopaths. There is no such thing as a psychopathy gene. However, research tells us that it tends to run in families, and even if a parent doesn't have it, they may carry one or more genetic variants that increases their child's chance of developing it. These genetic factors, as well as environmental influences, can then impact complex brain structures such as the amygdala and the cortex, which process important functions like behavior, personality, emotions, empathy, and fear, to name a few. In the 50s and 60s, psychopathy was included in the first 2 editions of the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, but it was replaced in the 3rd edition by antisocial personality disorder, otherwise known as a sociopath, which focuses mainly on the behavioral aspects of psychopathy, such as aggression, impulsivity, and violations of others' rights, but only minimally on personality characteristics like callousness, remorselessness, and narcissism, because it was assumed that doctors couldn't measure those parts of a person as accurately as they could their behavior, which can be more easily observed. Since it's not in the DSM anymore, doctors don't technically diagnose people as psychopaths, but experts still use the term psychopath. It's still recognized as a mental disorder that can be assessed and treated. To assess a psychopath, we use a system of tools developed by Dr. Robert Hare, a Canadian forensic psychologist, including the psychopath checklist. It's scored during an interview between a patient and a psychologist, who also reviews their background, relationships, and criminal history, as it's most often conducted on people who are already in prison. This is where Dr. Robert Hare began his research into psychopaths back in the early 1960s. As a rookie prison psychologist, fresh out of college, inmates would regularly take advantage of him and push his boundaries. His interaction with a particular type of inmate, the psychopath, was ultimately one of the catalysts leading Hare to the study of psychopathy. He recounted the time he was almost killed by a psychopathic inmate just after he quit his job as the prison psychologist. He was driving along the highway when he noticed the brakes gradually become spongy before finally failing altogether. He was barely able to keep the car under control before he made it to a service station. Only after the car was inspected did he learn that the brake line had been cut so a slow leak would occur. Earlier, Hare's car had been repaired in the prison auto shop where a psychopathic patient, whom he calls Ray, was putting in time. Hare had previously refused to get Ray a job as a roofing contractor with his father's firm, which would have helped the inmate at an upcoming parole hearing. To this day, Hare is convinced that the man retaliated by sabotaging his car. Ray was a tall, slim fellow with burning eyes. "I'll never forget those eyes," he said. He recalled how Ray's easygoing charm masked his particularly brutal nature. Since then, Hare went on an odyssey to try to determine why people like Ray can have such callous disregard for the people they come into contact with. In 1980, Hare published the first 22-item psychopathy research scale, and by 1985, he had refined it down to 20 items named the Psychopathy Checklist Revised, or PCLR, with a total possible score of 40. A score of 30 or greater corresponds to a diagnosis of psychopathy. And to put scores into context, an individual with no criminal background will generally score at around 5, and many non-psychopathic criminals score around the 22 range. Apparently, serial killer Ted Bundy scores 39. Overall, 2 key elements of a psychopath are assessed: selfish and unfeeling victimization of other people, and an unstable and antisocial lifestyle. A psychopath is characterized by the following symptoms, which are confirmed by the checklist: lack of conscience or a sense of guilt, lack of empathy, egocentricity, pathological lying, disregard for the law and social convention, shallow emotion, and a history of victimizing others. So are psychopaths all criminals and serial killers? According to a study in 2001, 86.5% of the serial killers analysed met the Hare criteria for psychopathy, and another 9% presented a few psychopathic traits, not enough to be classified as psychopaths. So it's understandable why psychopaths are so synonymous with serial killers, and the most notable and famous psychopaths are usually mass murderers of some kind: Hitler, Ted Bundy, Charles Manson, Ed Gein. However, there are quite a few notorious serial killers who score high, but not high enough on the PCLR to be considered actual psychopaths, like Jeffrey Dahmer. And while it seems most serial killers are psychopaths, or close to it, not all psychopaths are killers, thankfully. Just looking at the statistics, it's estimated in the United States 1.2% of adult males and an average of 0.5% of adult females are psychopathic, but we know that there are not nearly that many serial killers in the population. According to this article, Serial Killer Statistics, since the 1900s there have been around 3,600 serial killers in the US as of 2020. And going by adult populations as of 2021, there could be at least a couple million psychopaths in the US today. They can go on to be successful, or at least fly under the radar, and so it can be difficult to assess them via the PCLR. So what's the difference between a plain old psychopath and a serial killer? According to the 2001 study I mentioned just before, while the vast majority of serial killers were psychopaths, they can also have schizoid and/or sadistic personality disorder, which basically means they are disinterested in social relationships or derive pleasure from hurting other people, which is not a typical trait of a psychopath. In this article, What Makes a Serial Killer?, J. Oliver Conroy has an interesting take. He says, perhaps it's not that serial killers are made, but that the majority of us are unmade by good parenting and socialization. What remains behind is these unfully socialized beings with this capacity to attack and kill. And often that capacity is grafted onto a sexual impulse, aggression sexualized at puberty. Many serial killers are survivors of early childhood trauma of some kind: physical or sexual abuse, family dysfunction, emotionally distant or absent parents. Trauma is the single recurring theme in the biographies of most killers. But here's the problem. If 100 kids grow up in an abusive foster home, and one turns out to be a serial killer, what about the other 99? They grew up to be, well, maybe not all well-adjusted citizens, but certainly not serial killers. What is the missing X factor? My sense is responsibility falls on the offender here. Serial killers choose to act on their compulsions. During the first big wave of celebrity serial killers in the 1960s and 1970s, some defense lawyers tried to argue in court that serial killers are not guilty by reason of insanity, because an irresistible compulsion to kill is a form of temporary insanity. The legal definition of insanity is an inability to distinguish right from wrong and an inability to understand the consequences of an action. But serial killers are very aware of what they're doing. That's why they disguise themselves, hide evidence, and leave the scene of the crime. This is why the FBI says understanding psychopathy becomes particularly critical to law enforcement during a serial murder investigation and upon the arrest of a psychopathic serial killer. The crime scene behavior of psychopaths is likely to be distinct from other offenders. This distinct behavior can assist law enforcement in linking serial cases. Also, psychopaths are not sensitive to altruistic interview themes, such as sympathy for their victims, or remorse, or guilt over their crimes. They do possess certain personality traits that can be exploited, particularly their inherent narcissism, selfishness, and vanity. Specific themes in past successful interviews of psychopathic serial killers focused on praising their intelligence, cleverness, and skill in evading capture. When I think of the intelligent and skilled serial killer, Hannibal Lecter comes to mind, but is that an accurate depiction of a psychopath? Are they actually more intelligent, more skilled, and is there such thing as a good psychopath? Well, it would seem that no, they're not more intelligent. A review of studies found that the correlation between psychopathy and intelligence is nearly zero, suggesting that most people with psychopathic traits are neither highly intelligent nor particularly dull. In terms of the concept of good psychopaths, it's crucial to distinguish between psychopathic traits and prosocial behavior. While psychopathic traits are generally associated with negative outcomes and behaviors, there are individuals who possess some psychopathic traits but direct them toward positive endeavors. We call them successful psychopaths, which could be described as a syndrome rather than pathological psychopathy. They add something to society. These individuals may exhibit qualities such as confidence, fearlessness, and an ability to remain calm under pressure, which can be advantageous in certain fields or situations. An example of this is Chuck Yeager, a successful test pilot in the Air Force and a war veteran in World War II. He shot down 13 German fighter jets in a single day. Despite a long-standing scientific claim that any plane flying faster than the speed of sound would be torn to pieces by shock waves, Yeager set out to break the sound barrier in 1947 and became the first in the world to do it. Thanks to Tom Wolfe's 1979 book, The Right Stuff, Yeager came to exemplify the heroic aviator who is made of the right stuff, embodying the physical and psychological characteristics needed to take on the enormous task required of pilots and astronauts involved in US post-war aviation experiments. Despite never engaging in callous, manipulative, or deceptive behaviors, Yeager has been described as embodying core psychopathic traits much like Ted Bundy, Clyde Barrow of Bonnie and Clyde, and Bernie Madoff. If Yiga had had different childhood experiences or opportunities, he might have committed crimes rather than breaking the sound barrier in an experimental jet. It's possible that fearless heroes like Yiga are successful psychopaths. These socialized psychopaths usually have no criminal record and may even hold noteworthy jobs thanks to the usefulness of their psychopathic traits. Other examples would be the unsympathetic CEO or the charming, egocentric media personality. Kevin Dutton, one of the 2 writers of the book The Good Psychopath's Guide to Success, says characteristics like charisma, charm, coolness under pressure, fearlessness, focus, impulsivity, lack of conscience, mental toughness, reduced empathy, and ruthlessness are not inherently bad. Psychopaths who regulate and harmonize their feelings can be more productive in business, in politics, and in life, and we can learn from them. He does emphasize that a pure psychopath is going to ruin his or her life and also the lives of those they come into contact with. But these certain psychopathic characteristics can, when dialed up at certain levels, in certain combinations and in certain contexts, predispose one to success. This might explain why it has been estimated in various studies that up to 21% of CEOs could be psychopaths, although Dr. Robert Hare found a much smaller percentage of just 3.5%. My understanding of all this is that a psychopath is much more likely to become someone who causes harm than good. According to the statistics, they're more likely to end up in prison than a successful CEO. But it's not to say that they will cause more harm than good, because you would have to measure the total impact of their actions. Does a psychopath commit 1 criminal act or 20 before they're stopped and sent to prison? Compared to, say, a drug company that distributes a really, really beneficial drug to society with no side effects, and the CEO is a psychopath. The scope of their positive impact on society could be greater than the one who is sitting in prison and was caught before they committed too much destruction. I don't think there's any realistic way to measure something like that. I'm just trying to see the possibilities of all sides. On the other hand, the other psychopathic traits like lack of personal accountability, impulsiveness, pathological lying would not make for a good CEO, and might explain why some companies crash and burn in the most amazing and scandalous ways. Anyway, it seems that the majority of psychopaths are not in prison, and certainly not serial killers. But in terms of public figures, we don't have as many, if any, notable good psychopaths as bad ones. That could just be because the bad ones are much more interesting to the media and the general public because of the depths of how bad they are. But as it stands, it seems their actions are more likely to be negative towards society, unfortunately. Whether it's criminal or not, the characteristics of a psychopath just don't seem to be that of a good person. So that's it for part 1. In the next video, I will go deeper into the psychopath checklist and the 20 items that measure these characteristics. And I'm going to take the test as we go, just for fun, but we'll see if I am potentially a psychopath. Hey guys, I want to share with you a guided meditation. You may have seen another video I did using progressive muscle relaxation. This video is a different type of relaxation method using your imagination. I don't want you to have to focus too hard on the story, but sometimes a guided meditation using visualization in the form of a story can help to calm the mind and remove distractions. First, we'll do a quick body scan and focus on our breath, and then I'll guide you through a beautiful beach scene. hopefully by then you'll be feeling super relaxed, and we'll bring our attention to feelings of gratitude, which is the intention for this session. But you may also have your own personal intentions, something you wish to cultivate or manifest in your life, like improving your sleep or some emotional state that needs healing. It could just be to relax right now. And just a tip I like to mention with these sorts of videos, it's a good idea to turn off the autoplay function on YouTube, so once the video ends, it doesn't jump right to another one and disturb your peaceful state. There's nothing like an ad to bring you right back to reality. So let's begin by finding a comfortable position for your body. Usually it works best lying flat on your back with your arms extended by your sides, palms facing up. Close your eyes gently and take 5 or 6 easeful breaths, allowing your body to settle and feel heavier and heavier with each exhale. While you're doing this, I want to ask if you can hear any sounds outside. Can you hear them without attaching any story to them? Can you hear any sounds inside the room you're in? Can you hear those without attaching any story to them? With that, let's now try to fall into the background of our awareness. Bring your awareness to your physical body. As you are guided to various points throughout your body, there's nothing to do except settle your attention on each body part with an intention to rest. You may even use the word rest silently on each part of your body to help you relax. Bring your awareness to the space in between your eyebrows. Rest. The center of your throat. Rest. Make an intention for your right shoulder to rest, and let your attention run down your upper arm to your right elbow, down your forearm, and into the right wrist, the tip of your right thumb, the tip of the right index finger, tip of the right middle finger, tip of the ring finger, and tip of the little finger. Let the whole hand rest. Attention in the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder. Let the whole right arm rest. Move your attention to your throat. Commit to rest. Awareness in the left shoulder. Let your attention run down the upper arm to the left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the left index finger, tip of the left middle finger, tip of the left ring finger, and tip of the little finger. Let the whole hand rest. Left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder. Let the whole left arm rest. Bring your attention back to the throat. Rest. The center of the chest. The right side of the chest. Center of the chest. Left side of the chest. The navel. Your abdomen, Let the whole torso rest. Center of the right hip. Let your attention run down the thigh to the right knee, through to the shin, to the right ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the right second toe, tip of the right middle toe, tip of the right fourth toe, and the tip of the right little toe. Right ankle, right knee, deep in the right hip. Let the whole right leg rest. Attention to your abdomen. The center of the left hip. Let your attention run down the thigh to the left knee, through the shin, to the left ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the left second toe, tip of the left middle toe, tip of the left fourth toe, tip of the left little toe, left ankle, left knee, deep in the left hip. Let your whole left leg rest. Your abdomen, attention rising to the navel, center of the chest. Let the walls of the throat relax. Let your attention rest in between your eyebrows. Let your whole body rest. Now shift your attention to your breath. Observe the natural rhythm of your breath without trying to change it in any way. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your abdomen with each breath, and the sensation of the air flowing in and out of your nostrils. As you inhale, imagine a wave of fresh energy entering your body. Feel this breath revitalizing every cell. Sense the spaciousness and expansion that comes with each inhalation, as if you're drawing in pure light and energy. And as you exhale, imagine releasing any tension, stress, or fatigue from your body and mind. Allow the breath to carry away any thoughts or worries that no longer serve you. Feel a sense of release and surrender with each exhalation, letting go of anything that no longer serves your highest well-being. Continue to observe your breath, noticing the subtle sensations that arise with each inhale and exhale. Be fully present in each moment as your breath becomes a steady anchor, grounding you in the present experience. With each inhalation, imagine breathing in a sense of calm and serenity. And with each exhalation, release any thoughts or distractions that arise. Let them dissolve into the air, creating space for stillness and clarity. Feel a sense of lightness and ease as you surrender to the natural rhythm of your breath. As you continue to observe your breath, notice how it naturally slows down and becomes deeper. Each breath becomes an invitation to dive into a state of profound relaxation and inner stillness. Take a few moments to simply be with your breath, fully present in this moment. Remember, your breath is always with you, a constant companion in your journey through life. Take a moment to express gratitude for the simple yet profound gift of breath, allowing it to be a source of nourishment, healing, and presence. Now imagine yourself making your way towards the beach. You're walking along a winding path nestled amidst a lush forest. The sand between your toes. You can hear the soft rumble of the ocean on the other side of the dunes ahead of you. You emerge at the top of the dune to find a peaceful and sunny beach with the clearest blue skies. There are people in the far distance, but you're alone in this space. The turquoise waters gently meet the soft white sand. You feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, embracing you with its gentle caress. The air is fresh and invigorating, carrying with it a hint of salt from the nearby sea. You can feel a tingling sense of anticipation as you overlook this mesmerizing scene and you descend towards the water. As you walk along the beach, you feel the softness of the sand beneath your bare feet. Each step sinks slightly into the fine grains, leaving imprints that quickly disappear as the ocean breeze gently brushes over them. The sand is warm and comforting, creating a sense of stability and grounding as you continue your journey. Approaching the water's edge, you delight in the soothing sound of gentle waves lapping against the shore. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs with the briny scent carried on the sea breeze. You take a moment to observe the colors that surround you. The ocean sparkles with varying shades of blue, ranging from the palest aquamarine near the shore to deeper, more vibrant hues as you gaze into the distance. The sky above is a canvas of endless possibility. Looking out towards the horizon, you see a pod of dolphins gracefully leaping from the water. Their playful antics bring a smile to your face, their sleek bodies glistening as they dance in perfect harmony. The rhythmic crashing of the waves creates a soothing melody that resonates deep within you. The seagulls soar gracefully overhead, their gentle cries echoing in the distance. Occasionally you may hear the distant laughter of children playing, adding a joyful harmony to the tranquil ambience. As you continue to walk along the shore, a gentle breeze wraps around you like a soft embrace. It carries the subtle scent of the ocean mingled with the fragrance of nearby tropical flowers. Feel this breeze nurturing your body, refreshing your mind, and filling you with a sense of peace and serenity. You notice intricate seashells scattered like treasures, each one a unique masterpiece. You stoop down and pick up a few, marveling at their delicate patterns and exquisite colors, a kaleidoscope of nature's artistry. You find a nice cozy spot under the shade of a swaying palm tree, and you take a seat, basking in the tranquility of this serene setting. You sit here for a while, feeling a profound sense of peace. In the distance, you spot a picturesque cove nestled between two towering cliffs, beckoning you closer. You get up, intrigued by its allure, and quicken your pace towards it, anticipation building within your chest. As you approach the cove, you notice more pebbles in the sand as you walk, and small rock formations are scattered about. The rocky walls of the cove curve inward and provide a sense of seclusion and protection from the open ocean. Inside, your eyes widen with wonder. The sunlight filters through the natural archway, casting ethereal patterns of light on the water's surface. Seabirds soar gracefully above, their cries echoing through the cove. You continue exploring deep within the cove, through winding passages, revealing stalactites and stalagmites that seem to whisper secrets from centuries past. Suddenly the narrow corridor opens up to a magnificent body of water. There's an opening at the top allowing the sun to shine through, and a waterfall tumbles gracefully over some rocks. You approach the water and discover an array of marine life in the crystal clear water. Everything feels calmer in here, and your presence is undisturbing to the shoals of tropical fish that paint the scene with brilliant splashes of colour. You marvel at the sight of a majestic sea turtle gliding gracefully, seemingly dancing to the rhythm of the ocean. Tiny hermit crabs scurry across the rocky surface, finding new shells to call home. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice a glimmer beneath a large coral formation. You reach down and retrieve a beautifully adorned ancient key from the depths. Intrigued and perplexed, you wonder what secrets it held and what it unlocked. Driven by a mix of excitement and trepidation, you embark on a quest to uncover the key's purpose. Clutching it tightly, you search for clues. The key seems to guide you, leading you behind the cascading waterfall, where you see a door. Mysterious symbols are etched into the rocks surrounding it. With bated breath, you insert the key into the lock. As you push open the secret door, you are greeted by a swirling vortex of colors and energy. Tentatively, you step through, and suddenly you find yourself transported to a realm beyond imagination. In this alternate dimension, the laws of physics and reality are completely different. The surreal landscape is a breathtaking blend of floating islands and vibrant flora unlike anything you've ever seen. The air is tinged with magic, and the energy coursing through the atmosphere invigorates your senses. As you explore further, you encounter peculiar creatures that defy earthly logic. There are majestic winged creatures soaring through the skies, their iridescent feathers shimmering in the ethereal light. Enigmatic beings made of pure energy dance in the air, leaving trails of luminescence behind them. The flora seem to possess a sentient nature, reacting to your presence with movements and whispers. Amidst this enchanting realm, you stumble upon a library surrounded by ancient trees. Its shelves are lined with books bound in exquisite materials. Each volume holds the secrets of forgotten civilizations, mystical realms, and mysterious arts waiting to be discovered. As you delve into the pages, you gain insights into ancient prophecies, forgotten histories, and the intricate workings of magic. You learn about the interconnectedness of all things and the immense power that lies within you. You close your eyes and feel the wisdom flow through you, whispering tales of compassion, resilience, and interconnectedness. It reveals the profound impact that acts of kindness and gratitude can have, not just on your own life, but on the lives of others. You feel home. You feel a soft breeze and open your eyes. You find yourself standing back at the door again with the waterfall behind you. The key is in your hand, so you take it back to the coral formation where you found it, ensuring the true splendor of this cove will be shared with future visitors. Leaving the alternate dimension, you return to your own reality, forever changed by this experience. You embarked on a journey not only to find hidden doors, but to open the doors within people's hearts, revealing the transformative power of gratitude and cultivating a more peaceful and harmonious world. As you walk outside the cove, the day has slowly transitioned into twilight, and you leave the isolated beach with a renewed spirit, forever grateful for the solace you found in nature's embrace. Now is a good time to reflect on the blessings in your life, both big and small. What are some things you can feel grateful for? You can be grateful for this moment right now, that you have 20 to 30 minutes to sit back and be peaceful. You can be grateful that you recognize this is important for your health, that you have such awareness. You can be grateful for moments of laughter that you might have had recently, clean drinking water, delicious food, a comfortable home. You can be grateful for a friend or a loving partner, or if you don't have a partner, you can be grateful that you have space in your life for a new one, or having more time for just yourself. Maybe you're grateful for your job. Maybe you're grateful just that you have a job and that you're able to provide. Maybe you're out of work. You can be grateful for the free time that gives you. You can be grateful for boredom. We try to run from it, but when you're bored, your mind wanders, which can propel you towards your interests and passions. You have to feel the boredom first, though. When you're always busy, you really have to make time to sit and reflect on things like that. Whatever you choose to be grateful for in this moment, feel a deep sense of gratitude filling your heart and radiating throughout your entire being. Allow this feeling of gratitude to expand, enveloping your entire body and mind with a sense of appreciation. Now it's time to gradually bring your awareness back to your physical body. Begin by wiggling your fingers and toes, gently stretching your arms and legs. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly open your eyes. Take a quick moment to savor the deep sense of relaxation and inner peace you have cultivated through this practice. Carry this state of tranquility with you as you move through the rest of your day, or tomorrow if it's nighttime for you right now. And remember that you can return to this place of stillness and serenity whenever you need it. Hey guys, welcome back to another gift guide video for Christmas 2023. I'm going to try things a little bit differently this time. I'm going to try screen recording as I go, just to cut down on the editing a little bit, because the Black Friday sales are coming up this week. Some places have already started their deals, so I'm really trying to get this one out before the sale starts. So if anything catches your eye, you can take advantage of those sales. And there's no real particular order of how I'm going to be presenting things. I've kind of got a few categories of things, like beauty items and shoes and health related things. So yeah, let's just get into it. I thought I'd start with some alcohol suggestions. If you've seen my other gift guide videos, I think I usually have one recommendation for something related to tequila. I think people really love it or they hate it. I'm definitely a tequila lover. I found this article from Forbes talking about the best tequilas in 2023. And the ones that kind of stood out to me, where is it? This one here. I think you pronounce that Cierto. And the reason I liked this one is because the mention here of the additive-free tequila. I think maybe just from my own experience drinking tequila. When I was in Mexico, I used to drink it, and my hangovers were so minimal. In Mexico, you get some of the best tequila in the world. So I like that. It's additive-free. So this one, they recommended the Blanco. $129, I'm guessing that is in US dollars. I'm not sure if you can buy this one in Australia. However, they also, down here a little bit, they also recommended this one, and it's made by the same family. And it's a little bit cheaper than the other one. I'm pretty sure I found this one in Australia at this website, topshelftequila.com.au. And they have other ones as well. They have a Blanco and Añejo. It's a little on the pricey side, but for a gift, you know. And another great gift for alcohol is always these Crystal Head vodkas, simply because they come in such a cool package. And as you can see, they even have more colors and varieties now. I think that's probably like the coolest bottle I've seen for a vodka. And they are, again, a little on the pricey side as well. But in America, in the US, you guys get a lot cheaper alcohol than we do over here. So next on the list of gift ideas, something I came across, are these candles by British Colour Standard. Okay, that's just Thanksgiving. Oh, that's fine. That shouldn't interrupt anything Christmassy. Yeah, I really like the colours of these candles. Okay, $84. Again, I'm guessing that's, yes, that's got to be US prices. That's kind of pricey, but there's 25 per pack, which is a lot. But these are the ones that really kind of stood out to me, these, the striped ones. I found them on this New York Times gift guide, I think it was. Look how cute they look in the candle holders like that. And these ones are only $48, and you get a box of 6 of them. And it seems like they have a lot of selections anyway, but yeah. I just think they're really, really cute and interesting and unusual for a candle. And some of these are even cheaper, $32. They're kind of cute. Kind of pretty. Yeah, see how nice they look like in the candle holders. I don't know, they might even have candle holders. Yeah, they do. Wooden candle holders. Let's see. Yeah, they're $22. They're pretty nice. I like them. And then Hamilton hamper. But that's probably Australian dollars right there. It's not the cheapest candles, but candles generally aren't that cheap anyway. So, and since you're burning the candles, especially if they have fragrances in them, if you buy cheap candles, you don't really know what the quality of ingredients is, and you're burning that, it's going into the air. So it probably does pay to buy higher quality candles, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So next up on the list, maybe we'll go over into now the beauty category, since, you know, maybe there's some women in your life that you don't know what to buy them and you think they're impossible to shop for. I'm sure they would enjoy any of these products. So first up, I have found these vanity mirrors that have this LED ring around them, so it gives a nice even lighting for when you're doing makeup or whatever. And I really searched for the best ones that I could find for the best price, because some of them are really expensive and some of the reviews were like, did not seem like they were worth it. And also it's a mirror, so it's breakable, and spending, you know, hundreds of dollars on a mirror, I don't know, it's too risky for me. Quickly, I just want to mention here, a lot of these kind of pop-ups when you first log on, and it'll be like 10% off your first order, things like that. Definitely take advantage of those things. Just, it all adds up, you know? It's kind of like stuck. I can't click out of it. Let me just try again. Load this page again. Yeah, so the two mirrors that I would recommend from these guys is this one, the Aura Go-To, which you can see is out of stock on their website. I did email them to ask them when it would be back in stock, but they didn't know when. But they did give me a link to their Amazon page where it's still in stock, so I'll link that in the description. And if you do go searching on Amazon for it, just make sure you get the right one, because I did see some other ones on there when I was looking, but they were an older version and they weren't rechargeable. So if you go and find your own version of these mirrors, just make sure they're rechargeable, and dimmable also helps. And some different light settings. Everyone has different skin tones, and some skin tone looks better with a cool light, some looks better with a warm light. So you see it's got soft, neutral, natural daylight, it's dimmable. It also comes with this little magnifier mirror that you can stick on there, which is good. $37.50. It's like, even at $50, this is a good price. And this one is the travel version. You can see it's still pretty good size. It's easy to hold, but it also has this little clip on the back so it can stand up on its own. The other one that I thought was good is this one, Vera. This one is not really a travel version, so if you know someone who's not really traveling, you know, this one would be just as good. It's more like a, you know, one that you would keep at home, just on a desk somewhere. It looks small and portable. Although personally, I do like the other one better. But this one is still nice. It's still nice looking. Comes in some different colors. I don't know why this one is so much more expensive. It's like $93 on sale, usually $124. But it has really good reviews, 192 reviews. And if you opted to get this one, I would also recommend getting this little magnifying mirror as well for this one, the Lara. I think it's just like a magnetic thing, it just sticks on the mirror. It's only $15 almost. This is US prices. Because you can buy it on Amazon, it might be available for Australian consumers. But I did find another type of mirror like this in Australia from this website. I don't know how to pronounce it. Etoile? No idea. But these ones I thought were good too. These little portable mirrors. This one, the medium one, would be just fine. It's similar size to the other one that I showed you, the Aura. Slightly on sale, which is good. I think personally, I think the medium size would be the best one. The large one is quite large and it's supposed to be portable, so I think the medium one is probably just more versatile because you could use it at home and also take it with you traveling. They don't come with, but I hope it's still available. This is just a screenshot. I did find this little magnetic magnifying mirror for $18 on that website. I don't know why I can't find it now. Maybe they're sold out. I did also find on this website these cosmetic bags that I thought were really nice and pretty handy. Where are they? This one here. They come in actually a lot of different colors. I thought this one was nice, the black one. It's on sale, $64 Australian. This is great. You know, we all know that when we travel and we take our products with us and then you're going through the security clearance, you have to take all your stuff out and put it in a clear bag and then put it through. So this is perfect because you don't have to take anything out. It's all in your bag already. And it's got these little sections here, which is cool. The top section is good for brushes and things. And then the bottom section is larger and you can fit a lot of things in there. It does come in different colors. The grey one's kind of nice. All of them are nice. I think I like the black one the best. And just because that mirror that I showed you is kind of on the pricier side, I did find another one from Luvo. The one I was looking at was, yes, this Wonderlight 2 travel mirror. Yes, this is the one I was looking at. $68 Australian. That's pretty good. Seems to have good reviews. Yes, love that this is rechargeable. Someone says nice and bright light. I couldn't figure out how to stand free without holding the other end. I don't know, it looks like it might stand up that way. It says the light is clear and the magnifier is a good strength. So it looks like it comes with that little magnifier as well. 5x is pretty good. It's good enough anyway. But yeah, I think this one's really good too, and for $68. It's more in line with the price of the Aura from Fancy that I showed you guys. And the last little mirror recommendation that I had for you guys was this one by Chanel. It's like a little mirror that you keep in your purse. It's probably like that big, smaller than the other ones. But this one I like just because it's Chanel. It's a little bit luxy. $48. I'd love to get one of these just for myself. That's what it looks like. It's got the Chanel logo on it. It's really nice. Any woman would be happy to have this mirror. It comes in nice little Chanel packaging. Not sure how much that's going to be in the US, but I imagine it's going to be a little bit cheaper. So yeah, those are my vanity mirror recommendations for you guys. Other beauty products I recommend is this Dr. Pen at-home microneedling system. Microneedling is really good for anti-aging. Here we go. Benefits: fine line and wrinkles, acne scarring and other scarring, surgical scars, stretch marks, loose skin, loss of elasticity, hair loss, hyperpigmentation, skin texture and tone. They have lots of different kinds of these ones. This is the newest one, the A9. But they have quite a few here. M8S, M8 is a bestseller. $300 for that one. And I believe these are available in the US as well. This is kind of nice, 20% off store-wide. That's pretty good when you're looking in the hundreds of dollars. And then they also sell the cartridges. Each one seems to use different cartridges. They're not super cheap, like $60 for a 10-pack, but this is the kind of thing you only do a handful of times a year. I think you need to usually wait about 2 months in between treatments. So a 10-pack is going to last you, longer than a year. And they're quite expensive to do these treatments at salons and with dermatologists. It is a cost-effective way of taking care of your skin. So anyone would be very lucky to be gifted this. It's a little on the pricey side as well, but you never know, you might be buying it for someone very special. So this next thing that I'm going to recommend is by No. 7 Beauty. Look at that, sign up, 25% off your first order. Unfortunately, I don't think this is available in Australia. I can't seem to find it. They do have No. 7 at Priceline and things like that, but it doesn't seem that they have this exact one, and this is the kind of one that everyone raves about. If you're based in the US or the UK, you should be able to get these ones. Where's the bundle? Let's try searching for it. Damage. There we go. This one is what I would buy for someone, because it comes with all 3 products, $100. And yeah, like I said, this is the one that everyone seems to rave about. You can say it's really highly rated. Another lotion that I would recommend is this one here. This one, I'd probably do the Amazon one. It's a retinol cream for your body. It says body and face, but it's another product I've heard people rave about. Retinol is a scientifically proven skincare product that does reduce wrinkles, and we always put it on our face, but I think putting it on your body is like the next best thing, because all of our skin is going to age as we get older. So $31, I'm guessing that is Australian. It will be cheaper if you are buying it in the States. The problem with buying this on the Australian Amazon is that once you add on the delivery fees, it becomes way more expensive, and it's not the cheapest product. I've never purchased it myself, I should say that. But as a gift, I think it's a good idea. And say you're not using it all the time, but you just use it, maybe use a couple of bottles a year. it's better than nothing. So in case you're buying it for someone who has no idea about skincare, usually when you're using retinol type products, when you go out in the sun, it does make your skin more susceptible to burning. Just maybe something to mention to the person you're giving it to. Just be, a bit more vigilant with your sun cream when you go out in the sun. And lastly, in the beauty products, something a little more just for the spa experience are these shower steamers. There's a few different kinds. I'll recommend Crafts and The City. It's the brand. I wonder if this is going to come up on this website. I might have to search it in Google. Here we go. This one here. The reason I like these ones, comes in a nice box, made in the USA. That's sort of why I like it, because it's made in the USA. Again, like I was saying before, with the candles, when you're burning something, or this one's like putting it in the shower and there's like fragrance coming up, you don't really want cheap, toxic stuff. Like it wouldn't be technically toxic, but a lot of like fragrances and things are endocrine disruptors, and so it's like you kind of want to get good quality stuff. Although in the US you guys do get away with using some pretty bad stuff, but the ingredients list is pretty clean looking, I think. If I can find it. Yeah, it's like bicarb soda, citric acid, oils, menthol, and then some fragrance. So you've got 6 different flavors, scents, whatever. Good ratings. Yeah, so you can see that this one looks a little different. It kind of looks a little more natural. These other ones that I'll show you look really nice, but they're like made in China and God knows what's in them. But they still do look nice, these ones. And just to be clear, they're not bath bombs, they're shower steamers. So these ones, I really like the packaging of these. These look really nice. They're quite a little bit cheaper. Still very highly rated. You just place it on the ground and then the water hits it, it starts to steam up. So it's really just kind of giving someone like a nice spa experience, make them feel good. Although these menthol and eucalyptus ones, I'm sure would be actually helpful for someone if they had sinus problems or whatever. It helps to breathe easy. So yeah, those are my beauty recommendations for the women in your life. I also have some recommendations for health-related things. Now, you might think this is a little snake oil salesman type things, but for a gift, I think it's kind of nice and thoughtful. Use hydrogen water bottles. This one I'm looking at is in Australia. It's $175, which is a little on the pricey side, I have to admit. But when I bought one, there was a sale going on. It was kind of this secret sale, so I added it to my cart. And when I added a second one, it actually gave me like 30% off. So if you can get it on sale, totally worth it. But maybe that is too much for you and you want to look for a different one on Amazon. Just make sure it has this SPE PEM technology. And this PPB, I forget what that means, I'm sorry. But 2,000 to 3,000 I think is usually what you want to look for. Okay, that's the hydrogen concentration. And this one I liked because it was 550 ml. A lot of the other ones are smaller. However, after having the bottle and actually using it, I find that a smaller bottle would actually be fine because it's very rare that you're just going to sit there and drink half a liter of water all at once. Every time I go to drink it, I tend to do the cycle, the hydrogen cycle, because I want it to be, fresh. This one is only 3 minutes for energized water. What are the benefits of hydrogen water? They are antioxidants. I don't really know, guys, if this is all good. The thing that stands out to me is antioxidants, reverse cellular damage, and provide anti-aging benefits, apparently. Usually these bottles contain a built-in water filter, which is good. Some people claim that it gives them more energy as well. I haven't noticed that, but I don't really suffer with energy problems anyway. This is the one I would recommend in Australia. This is the one I would recommend for if you're an American consumer is this Hydro one by Hydrolite. Free international shipping too, by the way, but it is a little pricier than the other one. And this is on sale apparently. So it looks like it's $150 US. But I did really look around for the best bottle, and I think this one might be the best one. So let's see what it is. It's 380 ml, which, like I said, is actually pretty good. It's 3 minutes, it says. This one has an even higher hydrogen content, I think. Yeah, so this one is 3000 ppb. And yeah, it's pretty handy having that ability to add a water bottle to it. I should mention too, the reason why I like both of these bottles is because they're made of glass, and they also have the option of this sleeve being made of glass. It's good if they have a cover. And I also had one other health recommendation, which is much more affordable than the other two things. Is this book by this girl. She calls herself the Glucose Goddess. She's on Instagram. But her whole thing is about like reducing glucose spikes, which are apparently really unhealthy for you. And so she just has meal ideas and recommendations on how to eat to reduce your glucose spikes, which if you just eat a piece of sugary candy, you get that horrible crash at the end. But that can happen with everyday food that you eat. So she's actually the reason why I changed my breakfast routine. I used to have fruit and yogurt, and it really didn't sustain me very long throughout the day. By the time I get to lunch, I'd be dying of hunger. And so because of her, I started having a more savory breakfast. It's so much better, and it's completely transformed my diet because I have a really solid breakfast in the morning, have a solid lunch, get home from work, have dinner. I don't really like snacking a lot at the end of the day because if I've been snacking a lot the night before, I wake up in the morning, I'm not really hungry, and it kind of messes everything up. So it's just really genius, you guys. So this one I would recommend as a gift idea for someone who, who you care about and you want them to be healthier, or maybe they want to be healthier. It's a good idea. I've also got a couple of shoe suggestions. The first one are these Ugg boots. They're called the Platform Ultra Mini. You can see it's got a bit of a platform sole, and they cut off at the ankle. This color in particular is really nice, the chestnut. And they are $165. We're in summer in Australia, so it's kind of not really on anyone's mind to be wearing Ugg boots right now, but I know the rest of you guys are in the middle of winter. These black ones are kind of nice too, but I know these chestnut ones, they were fairly popular. I got some of these for winter and they were just great, very flattering. And the other suggestion for shoes I have are by Elias May. They have these nice sandals, or maybe they're flats. There's actually a couple of theirs that I like, and then I also know really popular these ones. Vera, especially in this color bone. I have some of these too, they're really nice. They're very kind of cruisy shoes, like you can't really walk great distances in them. They're just sort of for lounging around and, if you're strolling somewhere slowly. And they're really on nice sale right now. This is Australian dollars, $187. Normally $250. They're pretty true to size. They're in EU sizes. And the other one of theirs that I like, scroll until I find it. I might try on the sandals. It's this one here, the Venga. Those black ones are nice, but there's a different color that I like better. I think they might be sold out, but I'll just show you anyway. They usually do sell out and then they restock them, so you might not be able to get them in the Black Friday sales. You can keep checking for them. They are $270 new, but there might be some more sales closer to Christmas. The color that I really like in these is the cream leather. You can see the little toe hole there. Yeah, they're very chunky and that is exactly the colour that they are. I see people wearing them on planes. I don't know why. A lot of girls wear them on planes. Maybe because they're just super comfortable. And I also have some gift ideas for children. I have a niece now, so I'll be looking at the toys as she gets older. So maybe if you have kids or you're around some kids, you might be aware of this popular kids book. It's Clarice in Paris, which is a mouse. And my niece is really obsessed with her right now. So I got her this thing, this plush toy, which I think she's going to love. It's $60, but it is 25% off. This is David Jones. It's an Australian retailer. There's a few different kinds of these ones. They come in different colored dresses, but I think the pink one is cute. And then I also got her this headband as well, little mouse ears. It's not like totally obvious that it's mouse ears, but she might like to sit with her doll and wear her headband. She's pretty young, so. Yeah, I struggled a little bit to find her clothing because I don't yet understand the sizes. And every kid kind of grows differently and they grow out of things, you know, in a month. And then I wanted to buy her a puzzle, something challenging for her, but not too challenging, but not too easy. And so I kept like suggesting things, and my brother kept telling me that'll be too easy. So I kind of gave up on that idea, but I also could recommend puzzles, you know. I also found this interesting looking toy, this adorable cat keyboard. You can get a beat and a tempo going. It comes with some lyrics, some little microphone. And I do believe it has a little record function. Could be wrong. I'm not sure if it records the voice or if they can just play something on the keys and then record that and then sing over it, but I thought that was kind of cool. This is available only at David Jones. And another musical item, you guys may have seen this. I was trying to look up to see if you guys have this in the USA. I couldn't figure it out, but I'm sure you guys have something similar. Is this karaoke microphone by K Hero. This I think is the newest model they have. It's pretty expensive, $200. That's on sale though. Apparently it's $500 normally. Maybe it's two. No, it's a single pack. This is another one I think that might have been a popular one for a while there, and it's only $90 now, which is pretty good. This is the Superstar 3. It's a portable karaoke microphone, so I think the speaker in there plays the music and then they sing into it. It connects by Bluetooth to, say, a phone, and then I think maybe they have an app that has the music and the lyrics, and the kids can sing along. Possibly even an adult would enjoy this, but I think it's more geared towards kids. So it looks like they offer international shipping as well, which is great. If you can't find something like this in the States or wherever you happen to be, that's not too bad at all. New Zealand, $15, rest of the world, $25 Australian. So take that into consideration if you get in early enough. Would make a great gift. So that wraps it up for this year's Christmas gift guide 2023. I hope that you got some ideas and can take advantage of some of these Black Friday sales. Check the description for links to these items if anything interests you, but a lot of these items are probably available at different stores, so it might pay to a quick Google search and see if you can find it a bit cheaper somewhere else than where I've suggested. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. So thank you. And if I don't see you before Christmas, I hope you have a really great holiday and eat some good food and take some time out for yourself. Bye guys.